was fighting honorably. Like if he would, I almost took him down twice, but he kept grabbing the rope and holding himself up. So when he finally got in on me, I didn't grab the rope. So we will argue about that. Probably until we're old men and gray. But yeah, that's when I found okay, he's the real deal. Like he's a great guy. He's a again when I choose my actual friends, I look at not so much their obviously I respect what they do in the ring, but as a man, I see Bobby. I see him all the time. Spending time with his kids and doing all these things. And as a father myself, I admire stuff like that. And I look at all his hard work, his work ethic, like. And for me, like that's birds of a feather flock together. And when I see someone working that hard and someone who is so dedicated to his craft and his family, and for me, those are the kind of people I want to be around because those are the kind of attributes I want to emulate. So I surround myself with those kind of people. And obviously, me and Bobby, we've had quite a few matches, in the past too. So again, it's that trial, but that friendship formed through fire. And so now, like I said, it's we're kind of a 1-2 punch. I like to think of him as I guess the best way I would describe us, for that would make sense to people. If you're watching the Avengers, okay, MVP is clearly Tony Stark. Mm-hmm. I would like to say I'm somewhere between Thor and Captain America, but Bobby is clearly the Hulk. that is the dynamic that I like to.
That in just my experience with you guys is so accurate, mainly because there are a lot of times where, again, just the three of you as personalities, it's kind of interesting how Bobby being as big as he is and as also is sometimes like voice of reason a little bit and like is almost like the calmer voice between everybody, but it's like but he's going to Hulk out at some point, but at least in this moment in time he's Bruce Banner, and I can deal with Bruce Banner for the moment.
Yeah, Bobby is 100% Bruce Banner backstage.
Yes.
He's extremely intelligent. He's extremely intelligent. Both of them are. Extremely intelligent, extremely humble, and just like the Hulk, he just wants to be left alone to do his work, and he wants to do it the most smartest, most efficient way there is. MVP, if it's either right or it's wrong. There's no in between. Mm-hmm. And I kind of almost see myself as, sometimes I lean one way or the other. It really depends on, situational. So I like to think I'm the most reasonable.
Yeah, I was going to say, like...
But at the same time...
I think the thing people don't know about Shelton Benjamin, and maybe I'm pulling back the curtain a little bit, but you are so much of the ideas guy. Like, there's so many ideas when it comes to things going on where it's like, the way that you think about things and the way that you think about wrestling and the way that you think about the audience and bringing the audience into the action and bringing them into even a promo, anything along those lines.
Right.
I see you as that guy. And so take Tony Stark all you want, because I think that's being the idea guy, I think, honestly, is where I see Shelton Benjamin.
Well, I can come up with a good one here and there. But again, like I said, I like to kind of remind people there's a reason that I've never had a different job in 25 years. Like, I learned my craft, I learned from the best, and I try to apply it as much as possible. I'll teach to those who want it. For those who want, well, you will be forced to learn it if you actually work directly with me. But I'm not trying to force my opinion on anyone. But I want everybody to improve, and I believe all of us have room for improvement, and myself included. I don't know everything. I learn stuff all the time, and even like coming into a new company with AEW, like one of my concerns was, okay, well, what did this crowd like? What does this crowd expect? And so I ask questions. I ask, guys who I know and trust, like Christian. I ask him, what did you change, or things like that about when you got here? Just because, but not just Christian, but also regular AEW talent. Just because I want to know the lay of the land. I don't want to. I don't want to just come in thinking, oh, you're just big star, you're the star in this other place, and I'm using star very liberally here because because that last run was not a starring role. But I want to know the lay of the land, so I need to figure out where, if any, I need to make adjustments, how I will stand out, things like I analyze everything, and a lot of times I've come to realize that when Vince had me doing that whole stupid eye roll thing,
which is still, by the way, a go-to reaction gift that I see all the time from people.
Oh, even I use it. So, but there's some truth to it, because when people when I'm going over a match, or when someone's telling me a match, I'm playing it in my head as they're speaking. Like I'm looking at moments, and I'm looking at possible reaction and things like that. I'm literally playing stuff in my head. So some people are you still with me? Like, no, I'm listening, but I'm legitimately playing the scenario out in my head as I see it, and that's how I approach a lot of my life. I will sit and I play things in my head. So that's probably what Vince picked up on that I never realized, and he didn't ask for the backstory. He just that's something weird. So let's just use it. But as far as my ideas, again, I'm just always trying to find a way to make things better for everyone involved.
Well, one of the things I want to talk about is the fact that I personally, Shelton, have watched your entire, at least on-screen career. I saw your first WWE run, watched you in New Japan, watched you Ring of Honor, second run, and into AEW here. But until I met you in person, the thing that I was astonished by was your size. And I think a big piece of that has to do with the fact that in previous runs, you were never really pushed around your size. When you think about a lot of some of the more spectacular things, and we were talking, you mentioned earlier, you can do those things, and we've seen you do those things. We've seen you, Shelton Benjamin in a ladder match was something that people, they knew, if we're going to see Shelton Benjamin in a ladder match, we're going to see something spectacular. That was kind of who you were, to the point of where you almost forgot that this is also a guy with some genuine strength and size to him, and to get to see you, to see that side of you in AEW, almost brings us a brand new performer. Was that something that you were very conscious of and very intentional with in trying to formulate who you would be to the AEW audience?
If I were him, I'd bundle my home and auto and pick up the real victory. Savings.
Are you talking about bowling?
No. Bundle, Jan. Bundle.
Bundle and save with the personal price plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Trying to formulate who you would be to the AEW audience.
Not necessarily. I wasn't trying to come in as a big guy. I was just trying to come in the best possible shape I could be in. So obviously, and again, to go back to WWE, I always saw myself as a little guy, especially when I originally started, because it was the land of the giants. You got guys like Kane, Taker, Brock, Big Show, Mark Henry. Even got I didn't realize how big Billy was until I got to WWE. So there were all these matches. So when I originally came in, I think I was around 230, 6'2", 230 when I originally started WWE, and I felt like a little guy. In my head, I was like, I got to get up to 250. I got to get up to. I couldn't even. My metabolism was so fast, I couldn't even get. I couldn't pack the weight on. But yeah, when I left WWE the first time, and I remember I started doing some indie shows for the first time, and kind of what you were saying, a lot of people when I showed up, they were like, "Whoa, we didn't realize you were this big," because they were booking me with guys who were 5'9", 170, and I could kind of just put them on my finger and spin them like a basketball. So people are like, well, he's. A lot of times when they're like, well, you weren't flying around and stuff. I'm like, I fly when I need to. If I'm wrestling a guy that's 30, 40 pounds lighter than me and 3 inches shorter, now he's going to be the one flying because I'm going to launch him. But you give me someone like Big Show, I might need my whole body just to stagger the guy. So it's all we are not all built equally, and I don't treat everybody the same. So it's. But as far as my size goes, I like to remind people I am a heavyweight collegiate wrestler. I was a heavyweight high school wrestler. So my weight class in high school was 275. I weighed 204, and I'm a 2-time state champ and took third in the nation my senior year. Collegiate, it was 286. The heaviest I ever weighed in was 217. However, I'm a 4-time All-American, junior college national champ. I took third in the NCAAs my senior year. I've been on Olympic teams. I've lifted guys like Rulon Gardner off from the floor. So my strength and all that stuff, like that's just been my life. I'm just a strong country boy.
Love
I
it
can
so
attest
much.
to him being strong because one time I walked into the hotel gym and Shelton here is on the treadmill carrying these giant ass dumbbells in addition to doing cardio. And it's just immediately like, I don't know if I should step it up or if I should run away. Like, this is a very scary person. He was already big and now he's like, oh, now he's big and strong.
Love it. Hey, we gotta take one more quick break here on AEW Unrestricted, but we've got more right here.